Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's the part 5 of the Mustang rebuild. So in today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and test fit all the parts, make sure everything is welded, and that way in the next video this thing will get painted, and hopefully in the next video we can get this Mustang done. So let's get started. Alright guys, so this is what I've got done so far. So pretty much this is how this is going to overlap. I'm going to drill some holes right over here, and on the other side I'll drill holes right over here, and then I'll make sure all this is welded and all these holes are welded and everything there is lining up pretty good. This just needs to be pressed down over here, and everything here is lining up, and here's this piece. It's all looking pretty good. Now it's time to go ahead and mount the quarter panel on there and see how it's lining up. A lot of progress here. Let's go ahead and check out all these gaps, and then we can go ahead and start welding the inner panels. Here is this gap right here. Check out this nice clean gap, and over here it's looking really good. Then let's go ahead and check out the trunk gaps. Here's this side. It has to come up just a little bit, but there's no trunk latch yet, so I can't really adjust that yet. But this gap could be a little bit bigger, but there's still a lot of adjustment in this trunk, so I'm not worried about it. But here is the tail light gaps and everything. Looks really good. This trunk, this bumper right here needs to come out a little bit. That's because I'm missing this bottom bracket. That will be able to be adjusted, but everything else seems to be lining up pretty good. Now it's time to go ahead and remove all these parts again and start prepping the inner panel, put some weld-through primer on it, and then start welding it. So as you guys just seen, I had to take this piece off. I put the weld-through primer here, and this is what I was talking about. I'm going to drill holes everywhere. I'll make sure all this seam is welded and nicely secured, and then I'm just going to put some seam sealer here, and it's going to look as good as this side right here. Well, I'll try to make it look as good, but everything else over here is weld-through primed as well. As you guys can see, it's gray underneath. So now I'm gonna go ahead and first weld all this stuff here, and then I'm gonna put the outer wheel well right here, and then weld that piece, and then we'll move on to the quarter panel. Alright guys, so this is what I've done so far. The wheel well is welded, and here's the overlap, and check it out guys, this thing is not going anywhere. It's nice and perfect. Everything is pretty much welded. Now I have to grind this inner panel, everything, all the weld spots, seam seal it and let it dry, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mount the quarter panel on there and weld it, because if I weld it right now, I won't have any access to cover up all of these welding spots. Alrighty guys, the inner rear panel is welded on. I'm not gonna grind it just yet until I have to put the front panel, which is gonna go something like this. It's gonna cover up this area right here. And also guys, I went ahead and put seam sealer and painted this inner panel right here, and it looks pretty good. The seam sealer doesn't have to be perfect because it's all gonna get covered. Now on the outside, I'll try to do my best to make it look good. And here's what the inside looks. I guess it looks pretty good. I still need to put some sealer here. I ran out. Tomorrow they will bring me some, because I still have to put some sealer on the inside over here and stuff. But anyways guys, I prepped the quarter panel already off camera, because this stuff takes a lot of time, and recording all of it is going to take even more time. But I'm trying my best to record everything. But I welded a plate underneath. This is where the quarter is going to sit. And I put weld through primer on all the places that I'll be welding. Everything is looking pretty good. I'm gonna let this dry out over the night, and then in the morning I'll start welding the quarter panel, and then try to get this thing off the frame machine tomorrow. And as you guys seen, you can literally do pull-ups on this thing. That's how secure all this is. So everything is completely welded, guys. The quarter panel is welded. I don't think I even showed you guys, and I don't think I even showed you guys this gap yet, but check out this gap, guys. Looks nice and even from the top to the bottom. The door opens and closes perfectly, and everything looks good except this arc right here, or whatever you want to call it. I had to bend it back, and obviously I messed up the quarter panel pretty bad, but that's fine. Some body filler will fix that and it'll look as good as new. Now it's time to go ahead and grind all the spot welds. I'm gonna do all that off camera because it's just a lot of work. Then we'll start working on the suspension, and then we'll move on to assembling the whole rear end and taking this thing off the frame machine. All right guys, here's what it looks like. Already seam sealed, everything looks pretty good. I put some black paint on it, and I went all the way up to here, and the rest my painter will just have to take care of the rest. But everywhere looks really good. All the seam sealer set perfectly, so shouldn't be leaking anywhere. So I think we're good. This is what it looks like on the inside. Now it's time to go ahead and move on to that suspension right here. But before I move on to the suspension, I'm gonna clean up this area real quick because it's a huge mess here. I don't like working like this, so I'm gonna clean it up, start working on the suspension, and then take it off the frame machine. I've decided I'm probably not gonna put anything together because my painter is gonna have to take everything off either way to get this thing painted. So as for the trunk, the bumper, I'll mount it, but taillights are not going on there. All right guys, check it out, nice and clean, and the Mustang is pretty much done. All I got to do is take it off the clamps and then have my painter come here, give me a price. I believe I need an all over paint job because every little part on this Mustang has either a ding or a scratch or something like that. Maybe the roof doesn't have to be painted, but guys, quarter panel came out perfect. The door opens and closes great. I even installed the rubber seal that way to make sure the door is not jumping back or anything. It's perfect. And over here I installed the fender liner and everything mounted up perfect. Now I did install the suspension, and I believe this wheel still is sitting a little bit sideways, but there's a lot of playroom in the adjustment for the alignment, so I'll wait till I get the alignment done. If they tell me it's good, then I won't have to change the subframe, but I might have to change it at the end. I guess we'll find out at the end. But either way, I had to install the suspension because there's no way of me moving the car around without having the wheel on there. So next, the rear bumper fit up nice and perfect, and let me show you guys the trunk. By the way, this looks really good over here. Then the inner panel, it comes out to right here, so it's gonna look even perfect once it's completely done. But here's this gap, looks perfect, and here's this gap right here. Everything looks OEM. I'm not going to install the taillights because he's going to have to take them off regardless, so I'll just save him, I don't know, 20 minutes of work, if that. But time to take it off the frame machine and wrap up this video. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. We got a whole bunch of work done in this video. Basically, the quarter panel was test fitted, mounted on, welded, grinded. Everything is pretty much ready for the paint job. This thing took me a lot of time. I've done harder jobs before, but this seemed like it was never ending. But I got it done. Finally, now it's time to move it to the paint shop. So in the next video, I'll be taking it to the paint shop and then reassembling it after the paint shop. So if you guys are enjoying my videos, be sure to hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, guys, if you're new to the channel. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Rebuild with Nick for some sneak peeks before YouTube. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.